Oh yeah.
Hmm. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that.
I love it.
Welcome to Whiskey and SV. I'm your host Sam, and tonight we're going to be drinking some Bombergers and Shanks. And I'm joined by my esteemed friend, Joe.
Great to be here. Always good to have some whiskey with you anytime.
Great. Thank you for bringing your bottles over, Joe.
Of
Really
course.
appreciate it. Joe and I met about 6 months ago where he was a noob, and now I feel like you've gone so deep down the rabbit hole that you have more knowledge of things than I do. So
I don't think that's true, and I certainly have fewer bottles, that's for sure.
cool. So I guess the purpose of tonight's episode is for us to just try this year's Shanks and Bombergers, tell you a little bit about them, and explain, kind of give some tasting notes maybe, and see which ones we like.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Let's pour them. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what these are, because I actually didn't know what Shanks and Bombergers are until last year.
Yeah, so this is an annual special release from Michter's, and looking at the history of the brand, John Shenk is the founder of the company, and then at some point it was renamed to Bomberger, and I guess Mr. Bomberger must have gotten involved, and then later in the mid 20th century became Michter's, and so they do it once a year. How much we a little bit more, maybe?
Yeah, I'm keeping it light. Yeah.
Okay, good. So every year they bring these out, and they're pretty coveted bottles. Roughly what, 120 MSRP, something around
I think
there.
Shanks is like maybe 110 and the other one's 120
Yeah.
MSRP, but of course we see them for more like 160, 170.
And pretty limited production. And so so I got Bombergers here and a Bombergers for you.
And this is a Shanks.
And so it's frequently hard to find every year. And then the debate every year is which of the two is better. And some years it's Shanks is better. Some years people think Bombergers is better, and we'll see what we think for 2024.
So last year I did get to try both of them, and I definitely preferred Bombergers. And even though I did hear that a lot of people did say they like Shanks more, I'm a bit of a proof whore, so
same. So
I wonder if this year will be different. But this year, actually, most people that I've seen reviews preferred Bombergers, so we'll see.
And it's roughly 20 points in proof from 108 down to like 91, 92 something. So yeah, it's significant.
That's quite a bit. All right, cool. Should we start with the Shanks first then?
Yeah, I think so. Cool. A little later. Cheers.
It's very familiar Michter's nose, right?
Yes. So, yes.
If you have any of the Michter's, even like lower line, the regular shelfers. So sour mash, right? This is
right. And my understanding is Shanks is sour mash and Bombergers is more on the whiskey side.
Mm-hmm. So sour mash, well, from what I understand, there is just the reason. I think a lot of bourbons are sour mash. I think all it means is they don't clean out the tub where they're doing the thing before they put the stuff in. So it's just like an ongoing.
I see.
That type of fermentation thing. But because it's more to do with like the barrels, and because the barrels are not new, they can't call it a bourbon.
I see.
And that's why they call it like. They just give it like a sour mash, making
it's like some random name.
Yeah, but it's like more about just the fact that I think the barrels are something, they're like seasoned and they're not like new oak barrels or something. So there's some weirdness about that.
What are you getting on the nose?
So it's sort of like a light toffee note.
Yep.
Kind of Werther's original type note,
Yeah. Like I have a hard time with caramel and toffee, like they're kind of same thing to me. Yeah, but similar in this one. Pretty light. Like yes, this does not smell like a very proofy bottle for sure.
That's right. But it's very inviting for sure. It's like something. I think even for someone, if someone is new to whiskey and you offer them something like this, it might be a good starting point. But
absolutely,
they'll probably not appreciate it
exactly
as much as you'd want to. But all right, let's maybe try it on a palate.
Sounds good. So some of that toffee's coming through.
Yeah.
No fruit. I'm not really getting any fruit notes at all. Are you?
No, I'm getting actually more somewhat of a milk chocolate creamy note, which is, and this is my first whiskey of the day, so
Yeah, same.
maybe that's one of the reasons why it kind of hits the palate really nicely. It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, super smooth. I think, as you said, easy drinker. Like it's not going to scare away someone who's not really interested in proof, and
Yeah,
not any like really strong flavors one way or the other.
yeah.
I'm getting some of the caramel, a little bit of chocolate. Yeah, and it you can now smell it again. As you're
So
going
I
through it.
believe it had some malted rye in here. I'm not sure. Like when I think of malted rye, I think about um, what is that San Francisco brand? The Old Potrero.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but this is nothing like that, right? It's like actually quite smooth. Like Old Potrero to me has this like metallic note that's kind of, a bit funky, and this is quite smooth and well rounded.
super smooth.
Yeah,
I think Michter's in general is known for being smooth with
right,
their all their production techniques and air drying the staves outside for months at a time.
right.
So and this is no exception to that.
Mm. After kind of the lingering taste at the end, is this like interesting oak note that's like sweet. There's no really bitters, like, but the oak is definitely present. I feel like there's this woody note that kind of
Yeah,
has all the way from the start to the end.
and then the finish, it's not strong, but it is long. Like
Yes, yeah,
it's kind of a light long finish is how I
yes,
would put it.
yeah. I like this. This is actually really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not bad.
yeah. All right. Maybe I'm gonna leave a little bit because I do want to go back and forth.
Yeah,
So
yeah, let's do that.
okay, some of the pot a little bit.
Not bad for the first pour of the day.
6 ounce. Yeah. All right, let's do it. The Bombergers. Hmm. It's very different.
Yeah, actually, even the color. I don't know if we can see much of the color anymore. It's definitely a little darker.
I get more candy notes in this, to be honest.
Candy
Um,
and some sweetness from the fruit. I'm
mhm.
not sure which fruit I'm getting exactly, but
I always have a hard time to know whether that's just because of the proof or if it's actually like
it's really
something
there.
different. Yeah. So I've never experimented with this, but I've heard that master blenders they like to proof everything down to 60 proof, like 30%,
Oh,
and then like taste them at 30%.
and
But yeah, it's not something that I have any experience with.
see this one, and I've had this before, so obviously I know a little bit about my preferences, but this one just strikes me as something like from the nose. I know I'm going to enjoy it once I taste it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
for sure.
it's hard to, with that history, it's hard to not keep that in mind.
Yeah, it does come across as more complex to be honest, because other than the sweetness, there's like other stuff going on. There's like some fruity notes that are like lingering in there, and
Yes.
it's just okay. I'm gonna try this.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh yeah.
Hmm, interesting. I don't know how I feel about that.
I love it. Like right away you can taste the proof, right?
Hmm.
Like you feel
For
it
sure.
up front, and then it turns into this rich like caramel vanilla bomb with some fruit in there. So I really enjoy it, and I can feel the proof on the finish as well.
Hmm. It has some kind of sticky um, honey note to it as well.
Yep, and viscous as well.
Yeah.
Like I think it's fair to say the viscosity on this one is a lot higher than the Shanks, which at least that's my perception of it. And coating the mouth.
That's true. But I don't know. I felt like I feel there's a little bit of an astringency to it,
Yep.
and I wonder if that will open up with some water. I'll probably try some water in this.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a bitter note, like
Little
kind
bit,
of mid palate,
yeah,
right? And
very small amount.
yeah, but I see I like that. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
I think some water might actually help out. So I'm gonna put a couple drops in here
all
and
right.
see.
Let's see.
Which I don't think we needed on the Shanks, right?
Yeah, probably not. I think I did a little bit more than a little bit, but all right. Let's see. Oh wow, that actually opens up really well with water.
Yeah, just a couple of drops.
Gets a lot more aromatic.
not floral necessarily, but fruit.
Mhm.
I'm getting a little bit more fruit out of it. Maybe some stone fruit.
Yes.
Hard to say. That's good.
All right. Let's see.
Still a little bit of that astringency, but less with the water, I'd say.
Interesting. I thought either the water didn't make any difference to it, or made it even a little bit more astringent.
Wow.
It really made the nose open up, but hmm. It's so much more flavorful though. I feel compared to. Let me go back to this because now I'm wondering.
Yeah. It might be hard to go
Honestly,
back.
I
Oh
kind
wow.
of prefer the nose on the Shank side.
Wow. And like I just got a big honey note off of this that I didn't sense was there before.
And I get like more chocolate notes on this, which
Yeah.
I enjoy. I going in, I thought for sure I'm gonna like the Bombergers more, but honestly, I think right now I'm kind of leaning more towards
You're
the
a Shanks
Shanks.
man,
It
huh?
sounds like
2024.
yeah, just unfortunate that it's so uh, watered down.
Well,
It doesn't, you know.
there is the notion of the Shank burger. I don't know if you've heard of that, where
Right.
I guess I don't know if it's equal proportions, but I haven't tried that before, but that'd be interesting
To
too.
blend them together.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I have a little bit of, here left in
I'm
here.
gonna go
Maybe I'll
back
just
to
do
the
this.
try it out.
Yeah, there's something about the Bombergers that's a bit closed off for me. I feel like the Shanks does a better job of delivering the even though it's watered down and it's toned down, I think it does a better job of like being sort of like delivering more range to
Hmm.
me. Hard to say. Again, like again, given the mouth feel, I definitely prefer the Bombergers, but I feel like Shanks is giving me more in terms of like the yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe the combo would.
Yeah, let's see.
Did you blend them?
I blend them a
I'm
little
gonna.
bit
I
here.
only have a little bit left
Yeah.
of each, but I'll just put them together and see what happens. Yeah, for me, a lot of the whiskey experience is a little bit about the burn, and I tend to like higher proof stuff,
Yeah.
especially some hazmats, and then the viscosity is a big deal for me. So
Yes, for
like
sure.
there's a big difference,
Yeah.
but flavor wise, I agree with you. There's a little bit of astringency here that's not in the Shanks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try the Shank burger, see what we think.
I don't think the mix is that great.
Yeah,
I think it's like a lot more bitter and tannin notes for
yeah,
some reason.
yeah. That blend is not a good blend. Well, we learned something.
Cool. So, final thoughts on this. You are definitely still on the Bomberger's train. Yes.
Absolutely, because of the viscosity and the proof and that astringency. While it's there, it doesn't bother me.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think I'm slightly on the Shanks front this year. Um, Last year, I think for sure I was Bomberger. So this year, I feel like the Shanks just does a little bit more, and the Bomberger for me that astringency like kind of takes away from the experience enough that I'm like probably like 51-49 sort of on the Shanks side this time.
Yep.
But generally thinking like what do you think about the value of these? Do you think these are worth it at MSRP or secondary, or I mean, would you get them every year? What are your thoughts generally?
When I first tried Bombergers earlier this year, I was really impressed and really enjoyed it, and so much so that I went out and sought some earlier vintages, the 21 and the 22.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't do that for the Shanks because, like, I didn't find that the proof was high enough. So value wise, like when I got these originally, it was like the first week, and I overpaid, and I knew I was overpaying, but I wanted to get them, because I wasn't sure I was going to see them at a Total Wine or a Bevmo. So I wouldn't overpay. I wouldn't pay more than MSRP. I think the lesson for next year would be, just wait it out, and hopefully one of our friends will find it at a Total Wine, and we can go get it somewhere.
We certainly have very good friends that help us out getting bottles. We're lucky.
But at 120, like that's a definite buy. I don't know that I need to back it up because there's a new one every year.
Yeah, they are slightly different every year. So I mean, if you like one from 1 year, I guess it might make sense to back it up. I don't think I've ever found one where I thought like this is so amazing that I must back it up. But they're definitely worth at MSRP. If I can see at MSRP every year, I will probably pick up.
And I would say it's a great pairing to like split a bottle with a friend.
Yes.
And every year you get half of the Bombergers and half of the Shenks, and
Yeah.
you can do what we just did here in your own home, right?
Yeah.
And compare if you like one over the other.
For sure. Cool. Well, thanks again, Joe, for joining me in this episode. I hope everyone enjoyed this episode as much as we did making it. And we'll see you next time.
Great.
I do like them, but I just they're not like on top of a list of things that I like will go to every time.
Yeah.
You know.
This I found I went back to like in the first week,
Nice.
like a couple of times because I really liked it. And the Shanks, well, you can tell by the volume in the bottles, like I was doing less Shanks.
They are significantly better than this, though. I mean, just even on the nose. Like,
what is
these two
are better than this?
Comparable, yeah. Like this is pretty like vanilla.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing going on here.
Vanilla, as in plain
like
vanilla.
Nothing,
yeah.
There's nothing going on.
That's the problem with Michter's.
Way too watered down.
It's like $50 for that, right?
That's not good. That's worth like maybe 20.
Yeah.
I do like them, but I just they're not like on top of a list of things that I like will go to every time.
Yeah.
You know.
This I found I went back to like in the first week,
nice.
Like a couple of times because I really liked it. And the Shanks, well, you can tell by the volume in the bottles, like I was doing less Shanks.
They are significantly better than this, though. I mean, just even on the nose. Like,
what is
these two
are better than this?
Comparable, yeah. Like this is pretty like vanilla.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing going on here.
Vanilla, as in plain
like
vanilla.
Nothing,
yeah.
There's nothing going on.
That's the problem with Michter's.
Way too watered down.
It's like $50 for that, right?
That's not good. That's worth like maybe 20.
Yeah. That's like, oh, you made the big time. You're getting on Sam's Sam's YouTube. Like, yeah, all 40 people are gonna see this.
All right, let's get started.
Sorry. This is in the outtakes, right?
Okay, I've never had trouble starting because I'm laughing too much, but yeah, good.
Glad I could help.
Yeah.